What is going down, everyone? We're back. The hype. I saw Mickey last week, but now I'm here, ready for episode number 199. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today as we're 1 week away for the National. So we're going to give you a survivor's guide to the National, also what we're doing. And then later on in the show, we're going to talk about NBA Finals and Giannis, the MVP. He got one under his belt. What's going to happen to his cards? Where is he at on the podium of cards? Is he past LeBron? Is he past Curry? That's something to think about. We're going to ask our basketball expert, C-Rad, who's going to be in here shortly. We're going to ask him what he thinks about the whole Giannis and the Giannis card situation. Dan, Cody, what's going down?
How about the Giants game last night, huh?
Nah, we don't need to talk about
How about that?
We don't need to talk about that at all.
Been telling you guys, that guy's not a closer.
We can talk.
He's not a closer.
I'm happy to talk about how a young man, Giannis, went from his knee nearly exploding to being maybe the best finals performance of all time. I'm happy to talk about that. I don't even know what you're talking about with that Giants team last night.
Still the best team in baseball. So.
Still the best team in baseball.
Barely.
Not with that. We need the other Rodgers. We need the better twin brother.
I'm happy to have the twin from the Twins. I mean, it just makes too much sense to get Taylor and Tyler on the same team.
I'm not sold on Chad Bradford of the Giants.
Okay. I was gonna say that's a throwback. Well, former Chad Bradford. Andrew Bailey is the pitching coach.
The side armor submariner.
Yeah.
I think Farhan was like a part of that.
That sounds
team as
right.
well. He must be like, he looked at a computer analytics and he's like, in order to be a good team, you need to have a gimmicky submariner pitcher.
Got to.
Right?
Absolutely.
I do like a good submariner. I look at like a submarine sandwich.
Who was the guy who pitched both left and
We
right?
All Live in a Yellow Submarine is a great song. Submarine pitchers.
Pat
Vendetti?
Vendetti?
Is that his name? Yeah.
That's the
Vendetti.
ambidextrous guy.
Yeah, that was the guy. Yeah. I don't know why that didn't work.
Dude, I remember seeing his. Where did he kind of come to be? I know we're totally going off topic, but you know what? We've been so busy with it, and we're going to talk more national here, but we've been so busy. It's actually nice to not talk about it for a minute, in a sense. I'm excited to see everybody, and I'm excited for the national, believe me. But
I'm excited to talk about Pat Vendetti.
The amount of planning going on right now, it's a nice break to talk about a little Pat Vendetti. But he had a card in 2009, Bowman Sterling, on the Yankees, and I think it wasn't until, 13 or 14 that he got his debut.
It might have been later.
Actually, might have been later than that. Yeah, so I was almost convinced. It was probably a day where I was like, "This is gonna be a game changer." This guy, throws both arms. This guy, never seen anything like this before.
We think that Shohei mania is crazy, man. If Vendetti mania took over, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
But I don't think Major League Baseball was quite ready for that.
No,
because I remember even in the minors, they were like, "Well, wait a second. Like you can't. You have to commit." Each batter or something you couldn't change,
because there was a weird. There was a minor league game with him.
They made a rule for him.
But I mean, if switch hitting's okay, then I don't know why.
Because there was, and I think there's footage on YouTube where he was pitching and he kept on changing.
Yes.
And the batter was a switch hitter, so he kept on changing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And it literally went on for 5 minutes.
It potentially could have gone on forever. I mean, there's no time limit to this.
Just a never-ending infinite loop.
Yeah, exactly. They could still be doing it.
And I think that's when baseball was really trying to focus, we got to speed up the game. And
that was the breaking point.
And they're just like, no!
That was the breaking point. Pat Vendetti and some switch hitter for 30 minutes just going back and forth.
Maybe that'll be the evolution of Shohei Ohtani. Instead of there being a guy that just hit pitches and bats, he'll bat from both sides, pitch from both sides, do it all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You don't know where he's putting his gloves.
Yeah, we're just saying,
what arm is it going?
I don't think Ohtani does enough.
No, doesn't.
I mean, he's not a switch hitter.
Nah.
He needs to figure that out.
It's a scrub, yeah. He can't switch hit, scrub.
There was a moment in time, and I'm like, man, this guy's gonna get tired. I feel like they have him chauffeuring around the team too. Maybe he's cleaning up the locker room. Like what more can we get Shohei Ohtani to do?
He was taking out the trash the other day. What? Yeah. Right, what can't he do? What
know,
was that
the guy's
about?
doing 5 jobs.
And talking about Ohtani, and I think right now he's the face of baseball.
I agree.
Finally,
this point.
finally got one right. He donated, I think he got $150,000 for the home run derby or something like that, and he donated it to
the Angels staff.
That's cool.
Amazing.
That's really cool.
The guy,
and all things. I mean, didn't get that much money from the Angels.
Right.
Like,
No, there's
a lot of guys on the Angels making a lot more money than Shohei Ohtani.
If he would have, I think, waited 2 more years, I think they said he would have made like 10 times the amount of money he's making now. Because there was something about, and I don't know the logistics of the drafting, but there's something that if you get to a certain age, you could bypass the actual draft. So, but
yeah. It was his amateur status, I think, that basically because he was young enough that like he couldn't command a big enough contract and he'd still be under team control for a long time. But yeah, he was totally betting on himself. It's pretty incredible that the bet's paid off.
Giants should have made a stronger run at him.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, would have been. Well, let's talk national. There's one more week away. The national.
It was fun.
It's already done.
It was good.
July 28th to August 2nd.
Flew in, got in, a little humid, had some pizza.
Very humid. Windy.
Shook some hands, slapped some backs, and had a couple sodas, and now we're back. Fun national.
Yeah. It's real fun setting it all up, but we got so much stuff going on for you guys. I can't wait to see our listeners here for the hype, our customers from Mojobreak.com. I cannot wait to see you guys because it's been such a long time since we've actually had some face-to-face conversations with people in this hobby with everything that's gone down. So it's gonna be a blast, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. But we're gonna do a little Survivor's Guide. Cody's actually never been to the National.
Never done it.
So Cody's gonna ask us some questions, and we're gonna help you guys kind of. Maybe a lot of people are going for the first time, so we're gonna help you kind of navigate your first National.
Yeah, so I've never done it. Not going to be able to go this year, but my plan is, fingers crossed, 2022. Hopefully I'll be joining you guys in Atlantic City for the 2022 National. I know, yeah. To be like, hey, first National could have been Chicago, and then no, it's going to be Atlantic City. Hey, whatever. I'm sure it'll be fun. But, yeah, big conventions can be super overwhelming, especially I think for first-time people. I speak from I've been to Comic-Con in San Diego, which I can say that very first time was incredibly intimidating. So many people, so many things to do. It was hard to figure out exactly where to go. So if you are a first-time person, if I was going to the National this year, what are maybe the 5-6 things that you'd say you have to check this out?
Okay, well, number one. Wear some comfortable shoes, which I always say it. I never.
I know you think it's dumb to say it, but it's people need to know because unless you want to have ice your feet at night by wearing your Doc Martens.
Don't dress for style, dress for comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to take my own advice. But so wait, I don't bring the Doc Martens.
No Doc Martens.
Doc Martens are kind of comfortable though.
Don't bring the Doc Martens. Don't bring the hammer pants. Don't bring it's just dress for comfort.
So it's probably gonna be pretty hot. So short sleeves maybe. But
shirt's probably required though.
Shirt's required,
I would think.
But you're talking about what to do when you get there, right?
All right. The must-see events, the must-see.
So if you're into autographs, the autograph list, the TriStar autograph area pavilion, some big names. They got some. I mean, I think it was maybe last time we were there in Chicago. They had Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan. That line was insane.
Yeah.
And it will be insane again.
I mean, if that's your priority.
Yeah, if your priority, get there early for that,
and
for
it may be the majority of that day.
Yeah.
And you also may want to check and see if they are sold out, because I know they have sold out on some VIP packages for autograph signers. So you want to make sure, if that's what you want to do, you want to stand in line, concrete shoes come into play there. You may want to try to get, wear something that's got a little bit of cushion on there, but you're going to probably spend most of your time in that line. For that. But, hey, that's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. If you like those autograph signers, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to possibly sit there, shake their – I don't know if they're shaking hands, but get real close to them, get them to sign something for you. Once in a lifetime.
The other thing, Panini is doing their Rapper Redemption program.
Yep.
Silver packs. And if you purchase a box from one of their online retail dealers, which I think it's only 3 that were listed. So it's Steel City, Blowout, and what's the third one?
DACA.
DA Card World.
DA Card World, yeah. Somebody just called and said DACA over the phone. Is blown away.
So yeah, definitely take advantage of that. And if you're going there with that goal in mind, again, that might be one day right there.
Yeah.
Those lines do get pretty intimidating. They don't move super quick, so like you may want to carve out 3 to 4 hours to do that. I think they're only allowing you to do one box at a time, if I'm not mistaken. I know you cannot do case.
Yeah, you probably want to check on the Twitter information or any of their blogs to find out the latest update on that stuff, on how to get those packs.
Brian Gray from Leaf is also doing a like a wrapper redemption as well. Mm-hmm. Brian's always got some fun and exciting things going on at his booth, so that is something I would definitely check out as well.
Yep. You got to come by the 2 Mojobreak boots, but that's a little teaser because that's to come after this Survivor Guide. So we'll tell you what we're giving away.
I mean,
we're like dumping out our pockets to show you guys some love, get you guys some merch, get you guys some free breaks. But we'll talk about that coming up. But I was talking about before we recorded a segment yesterday, and the sound wasn't going to work. But I was talking about buying specifically, and for one, get a secure backpack, whether it be a man bag. You know what? I gave in. I got myself a man bag. It's easier to carry cash in that thing, and maybe consider getting some air tags or some kind of item that you can kind of track your bag, because everybody's cool in the hobby, but there is a few bad seeds that are looking to come up on things. And if you set your backpack down, we just saw what happened with the Luka card. Luckily, the guy got caught. But if you have $1,000 to $10,000 of cash in your bag, that's something you're going to always be thinking about. So make sure that that's secure.
I know thieves aren't usually smart, but that guy was an ultimate dum-dum. He stole a card at a Dallas show.
Yep.
And then he tried to sell said card to another dealer at the same show.
Part of me is almost impressed with how just phenomenally stupid that is.
Yeah, like
it's almost impressive.
He had a chance to get away, obviously, if he went to another.
There's only one thing that he could have done that would have been worse, is actually steal the card and then go back to the same dealer and try to sell it to him.
Right.
That's like the only thing that he could have done. It would have been like, hey, I got a Luka 101 if you're interested.
All right.
That looks familiar.
I heard you down one. I got one right here for you.
Yeah, I heard somebody was somebody may have.
Yeah, it comes with like glasses and a fake nose and mustache. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, no, like an awful wig. But what I do when I try to buy too is I for one, I try to narrow it down. There's going to be a lot to see, and there's a lot of people that say if you can't find it at the National, it doesn't exist, and that pretty much rings true, because you got 4 football fields full of like tables and booths of not only people selling wax but selling singles. So there's always going to be. If you're looking for Jordan, it's there. If you're looking for LeBron, it's there. You're looking for Luka, it's there. If you're looking for Chris Bryant, it's there. So I always try to narrow down what I'm going to buy. I try to look on eBay for recent comps. So if you're not familiar with eBay, download the app. I'm sure you have it. If you don't, a lot of people don't know that you can look at completed listings. I know that sounds silly to tell. Some of you guys are laughing right now and go like, oh, I knew that. Well, some people don't. I have people coming up to me going like, I think this card's worth $70,000. It's like, that's what somebody's asking for. It's not a completed listing. So look for the card you're thinking of. Look at the last 5 sold of those. If you can't find that specific card, like maybe it's a 101, try to find a similar player and try to keep those prices in mind when you're
same player, similar product.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
To kind of get an idea. And then usually what I try to do is I try to scope out what I like, ask the dealer the price. And obviously, if they're like, say the comp was like, let's say the comp was like $2,500 and the dealer tells you 5, I particularly don't even waste my time. I move on.
500?
No, like 5,000. Like he's double comp. Then I walk away. I say, hey, obviously that guy thinks his card's worth a lot more than it is. If they're kind of in the ballpark, then I kind of take some notes. I walk away. I kind of plot my strategy of like, hey, this guy said he wants 2,800. The recent comp's 25. I'm going to come in. I'm going to try to offer him 2,300, which I think is fair based on the amount of eBay fees would be attached to if he sold it on eBay. So that way you kind of have your ammunition when you go in to make the negotiation, which is always awkward. So it's always good to be prepared. To me, every negotiation I do is very awkward because you don't want to seem like an a-hole, right? You don't want to seem like I'm trying to get it for like the lowest price, which in reality you are, and then the other guy's trying to sell it at the highest price. So you have to come to a meeting of the minds without offending the other person and without it being awkward. So
you know how you do that and not offend somebody though? So say they have a card for $2,500. Just go in there and ask, hey, I'll pay $3,000. I'll pay $3,000. And then it does. It's not awkward at all. Like the dealer is going to be like, oh, great. Like, no problem. Like,
is that what you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I told you. I
strange
buy
strategy.
I buy high, I sell low.
That's a solid strategy.
That's the game I'm in. The game chose me. I didn't choose the game.
There's a reason we're not giving financial advice on this show.
yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, if you ever don't want to make it awkward, you could always try that approach.
Well, you know what? It's a. You guys probably don't know, but I consider myself somewhat introverted in a situation where I'm talking to somebody I don't know. Obviously, I'm just talking to a camera now. I know you guys are watching, listening, whatever. But dealing with somebody face to face is a whole other thing than dealing with somebody on the internet. And this industry is predominantly dealt with on the internet, whether it be messages through eBay or messages on Facebook to buy a certain card. Now you throw those people, and you even throw in like the generation below, the 20, 30-year-olds that have gotten into this thing, the younger guys. They haven't dealt with somebody in months and years. So now you throw them in front of somebody, we have to do this awkward negotiation thing, and you just don't know what the other person's feeling. So it's best to kind of do your homework on what you're interested in. Don't make a dumb offer. If somebody wants too much from the card, then you probably just got to move on. You'll probably be able to find the same card somewhere else with somebody who's selling it reasonably.
Or if it's like early in the show and say said card sells for $25 and it's at like $5,000. Just remember where that card's at. Come back 3 days later. That card's probably still there. And then you can sit there and have maybe a conversation about like, hey, like I was checking this card out a couple days ago. This is pretty much what they're selling for on eBay. You still got it. Are you interested in selling it? Some people, honestly, they set up at big shows like that. They have no intention of really selling any of their cards.
Yeah.
It's just a way for them to hang out and talk about cards, show off their collection, and just have people look at it, kind of like museum pieces.
Yeah.
So don't like get bent out of shape if somebody's like far off the comps, because you have to remember maybe that card only sells for $2,500, but they will not let that. It means too much for them to let it go for that. They want to get $5,000. They'll sell it for $5,000, but they're not going to sell it for $2,500.
Right, exactly. No, there's definitely people that want and we saw a couple at the Denver card show where this guy had some exquisite cards. He wanted like $80,000 for it. I mean, maybe they were worth $80,000, but I didn't know any comps on it. It's like, who's going to walk up and buy this $80,000 card for you at that show? Now, maybe the National's a little bit different. Maybe there might be somebody that's going to buy it, but yeah. I mean, I think it's getting over like kind of knowing how to deal with people again, in a sense, and dealing with that face-to-face commerce, which we're really not been used to for the last 2 years, and especially not in this hobby. We're dealing with everybody over the internet. So overcome your fear, make some new friends, maybe buy some cards. Obviously, cash is king in a situation like this. I would recommend. I know people don't want to pay PayPal fees, but I still would not, even if you have the card in your hand. And that guy's like, hey, give me PayPal gift. I would not do it.
It's not worth getting your PayPal account locked up.
Yes, and that's the biggest fear.
Don't do it. Having your PayPal account's too important.
That does lead me to ask this question to you guys. What do you think is, for you guys, first time you guys went, what were some of the biggest mistakes you made that you wish, boy, if I knew this the first time I went, things would have gone a lot smoother? Or mistakes that you see a lot of people make or first-timers make when they go to the National?
Go ahead.
Well, we had a situation where we didn't do the homework on a certain card. Well, actually, maybe we did the homework and the other guy didn't do the homework. So it was it the year after he was a rookie? It was maybe 17, but it was a Dak Prescott immaculate shield rookie auto, right? And we were looking for cards for buybacks like we normally are doing, and that was a pretty cool card, and not ranked number 1 by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe a top 20 Dak card, maybe if you look at it that way. And we're talking about cards that were normally like, this wasn't even during the big boom. This was like big cards were selling for like $5,000. So we walked up to this guy's booth, and we were like, hey, how much for the Dak? And he said, what do you say, like 17?
I think he said 15.
15. And I said, would you take 1450 or whatever? And he's like,
no, I think he said like, would you take, or no, he said 17. I think you came back and you're like, would you take
and I said 16.
15 or 16.
Yeah. And then he's like, sure. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, hey, can you get and we had cash. And he's all, you have $17,000 in cash on you? And we're like, no, I thought you said 1,700. He goes, ha! Ha ha! And just like kind of laughed us out the room. And then it was just like, it was kind of like I put my head down and I was kind of embarrassed. And I didn't clarify the amount of money. He was asking a stupid price for this card. I mean, there was absolutely no way. There was no comps even close to that price. I thought it was a good deal at that price, obviously, but I wasn't like shaking giving him the money thinking it was that great of a deal. And just not doing homework and not being prepared for that conversation. I'm sure that guy remembers it to this day. I remember it to this day. I won't ever buy a card from him anymore. He probably should have said 17,000 rather than 17 to clarify. So I don't know if that's as much of a biggest mistake that we made, but it was definitely a face-to-face commerce learning decision.
I think I've made a big mistake. I've had like early on when we do some flying, I had one of my worst flights ever was going to Chicago. I had like the last row, but aisle seat, and it was a direct flight, but my seat was right next to the bathroom, and people were just lined up for the bathroom the whole time. Yeah. So I literally had somebody hovering over me for 5.5 hours and elbowing me in the head.
And I'm sure there was some guys that were like, I'm sure there was some guys that were like looking to do a number 2. They just Dutch oven, right?
Yeah,
right
next to you. But you're cramped, and I'm claustrophobic, so like it's weird for me anyway. But like if you're sitting there and you're just trying to stretch out and you just have people just hovering over you the whole time, super uncomfortable. So that being said, I if you have an opportunity to select your seat, try to not get back row right next to the bathroom.
Solid advice.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I will tell. We didn't even look at, and we haven't had much experience. We're mostly exhibiting, right? So we're mostly trying to get customers for Mojobreak or doing podcasts for the hype. So we're not like in the trenches all day like some people are. So, but what I can do is give some advice to breakers that are thinking about breaking there. From our experience, because we've been there exhibiting at the National for like 6-7 years now, and we've tried multiple things. I will tell you this: we are not physically breaking paid breaks at the National, and I think some people, especially if you're new, if you're like, I'm going to set up and I'm going to kill it. Well, 99% of your business is still going to be online. I wouldn't even say it was like a percentage of people that bought in there.
Yeah, I think in 7 years, I think we actually physically sold about 5 spots.
The breaks are still selling out.
Yeah, like 5 spots there where somebody like came up and they're like, here is $120 I want to get in this break.
Because the logistics of it are very difficult.
And actually, we found out that the way our site runs and the way we conduct breaks, taking cash from somebody, very difficult.
Yes.
Very difficult, especially to like make sure it's correct in the spreadsheet. Make sure, and generally, those customers are going to be like, I'm going to come back an hour after the break and I want to pick up all my cards.
Yeah.
Well, there was one year that we were doing Topps Chrome. Well, Topps Chrome, a case of Topps Chrome is, 500, 600, 700 cards.
Easily.
So, going to be difficult to, perform all the breaks, still, man the booth, and have the cards sorted and packed up and ready to go.
Right.
And I know from a customer standpoint, logistically, you should be like, well, that's what I'm here for. Like, figure it out.
Right, exactly.
Like, I get it, but like, it is very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
And it is something I think after the first 2 or 3 times, we were like, we have to ship your cards out.
Yep.
Like, I know it seems ridiculous, but the only way that we can keep it straight is that if we ship your cards out to you.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to actually bring shipping people out to the event and ship from the event. We couldn't keep up with it. Unless you're driving, like if you're driving, that's one thing. But if you and then you could like bring the cards back and sort and ship when you get back to your wherever you're from. But if you're flying like us, I mean, you're gonna have to send all the cards back, and then you're gonna have to maybe send them back. You probably don't want to do ground because then you're doing 5 or 7 days, right? So now it's gonna take that much longer for customers to get their cards. So you're gonna have to answer emails. So if you could avoid actually doing commerce there, maybe just signing people up, that's what I would recommend. I know there's a lot of one-man ops that are like, I'm getting the Breaker Pavilion, I'm paying X amount of dollars, and I have to recop that money, so I need a break while I'm here. It's very, and then you don't know what the internet situation is going to be.
I was gonna say, it's hard. It's hard to put on an event that size and have the type of bandwidth and internet that we need to do a live stream. And the logistics of that is difficult. Everybody has different computers, and it's not real straightforward and streamlined. So I understand the difficulties, but I would say every year, we have tried to break, even stream, even do podcast and hype episodes where we need the internet.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. The internet at some point, mark my words, at the National will go out.
Or don't even forget about random.org because everybody's on the same router.
It will go out. The internet will go out. It's going to happen. Be prepared. It's okay.
A personal hotspot. It sounds
yes.
like it's a solid idea.
But
you
also get into a situation where there's so many cell phones and so much interference that even the hotspots are a little spotty.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to run, there is Wi-Fi at the National. Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, Chicago's probably one of the better places that we've had success with the internet.
But are you telling me the internet hasn't gone out?
No, it has. But I'm saying it wasn't as bad as Cleveland. There was a situation in Cleveland where nobody had internet for a day or two. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just, not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I'm just being realistic. And the main thing that we decided not to do it there is it's kind of like if you go to Disneyland, are you going to have somebody ride the ride for you? I mean, because that's what we're doing. We're basically opening packs for you when you're at a place that has all the packs. So why wouldn't you just open the packs yourself? Breaking is made to be when you got a long day at work, you got to deal with your kids or whatever you do at night, and you can get into a break, or if you have some free time on the weekend, or if you have some free time in the day. It's something to do in an accompaniment of what you're normally doing in your life. If you're at the National and you can get autograph signers, you can get free stuff from Lee for Panini or Topps, or you could walk around and look at all these cards, the last thing you're going to want to do is have somebody open up cards for you.
It's like going to a brewery and bringing somebody with you and being like, can you just taste all these beers for me?
Right. So,
designated drinker.
And
are they good?
It's a nice twist on it.
I love that they give us our own pavilion, and it's great and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's why we've decided that what we're going to do is we're going to do free breaks. So we're doing 26 free breaks at this year's National. So, and the program that we've put into place is you come up and whatever requirement we make you guys do, whether it be download our app or, follow us on YouTube or whatever we require to do for that specific break, you get a card that you can scratch off and you can see what team you have in that break. And we're doing baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, 26 free breaks. We're also at the Mojobreak media booth. We're going to be doing free shirts. They might be limited because we didn't get all of them in, but we're going to be doing free shirts there. We'll be doing free shirts at the Mojobreak booth. We've got Joe Staley's coming down, so he's going to be doing some stuff with us on Friday and Saturday.
Should have got a T-shirt cannon.
Ooh,
T-shirt cannon would have been fun.
That's what just chucking them across.
We can have Thunder there too. Shooting out
should get the ones where they've got it's 500 T-shirt. You put the T-shirts in little 500 holes and it just shoots them out just automatically.
That sounds like a real effective way of getting rid of all the shirts.
Absolutely,
we have some shirts that
also
were not
an effective
quite...
way to possibly get a lawsuit on your
true
right in the face.
But I'll say that we had some shirts that came in that weren't quite to our standards.
Yes,
we could have basically shot those out.
Yeah. T-shirt Gatling gun, I guess is what you call it. Yeah,
that's something.
So confirmed. We got Joe Staley coming.
Joe Staley's coming. Yeah, he's going to be doing some stuff. We got a very limited amount of autographs that we could have him do, but he's going to be sitting around, hanging out. You guys will see him on Friday and Saturday if you're there. We also got tote bags. We got special. If you guys buy into our breaks, let one of us know or one of our brand ambassadors know. We have special coupons as well for those that are in attendance. And those are going to be super limited. So the main thing for us is we want you guys to have a good time, not have to worry about buying anything from us at that moment. We want to be able to interact with you guys, which is another reason why we're not doing breaks there. We are going to be doing some podcasts there, but we want to be able to interact with you guys that have been in our chat that all we know right now is a screen name. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to place a face to the screen name. I want to know who Fat Balls 420 is. I want to know who that customer is. I want them to say, "Hey, I'm Fat Balls," and I'll be like, "Cool, it's nice to meet
I
you."
think it'd be cool not knowing who Fat Balls 420 is, frankly. But the rest of you would love to know. Yeah,
exactly.
Man, yeah, it's like always the go-to. Huh? It's always
It's the best email
it's the
ever
go-to
created.
email, huh?
It is.
We also have we're gonna
Yes.
have hats.
Yes.
Very limited.
Very limited on those.
Very limited hats.
Oh, masks too now.
We're
Masks.
yeah, it's a maybe.
Oh,
It's
we
like-
haven't got them yet.
It's like everything else that we're waiting to come in. It's a maybe. But we should have those maybe. I don't know. We may also have a lot for our disposal here when we get back.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you can always use a mask.
Could be used for giveaways for some other things coming up in the future. So we can.
Well, you know what I realized about like if we, and I'm probably don't want to talk about this too long because we're gonna have some opinions.
Well,
on
I
the
mean,
other
it
side.
also might.
You know what
get blocked,
I
too.
noticed? I was outside mowing my lawn, and right now it's allergy season, and I didn't have one of these on, and I'm like thinking, if I had this on, the paw wouldn't have gotten my nose, and so I'm like, I'm gonna wear a mask when I mow my lawn now because then I don't have to deal with sneezing.
Garden work or
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, mask is like. I've been masking up while we're gardening for.
Yeah,
for a while.
because you deal with all these different like flowers and smells.
Dust,
And,
pollen.
I got
bugs.
allergies. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
it is absolutely.
It actually during the winter when you're like, because I do a little bit of running and whatnot. Like, I was using it because it gets a little cold.
Oh yeah, get your
Yeah.
warm, the
Yeah.
nose a little warm.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why I keep the beard. It keeps the face warm.
Multi-purpose, multi-purpose. And I mean, there's a lot of them around, so like we got to find other uses for them, right?
Yeah.
You can't just throw them away.
Eye mask.
Yeah.
Probably not the most
Nah,
sanitized. Yeah,
yeah,
but
you might
might
wanna-
want to sanitize it.
Might want to get a new one that you weren't breathing into, but
So yeah, we'll have lots of stuff that we want you guys to hang out, and also for the podcast. So 200, the episode 200 actually fell while we're gone, so we would be doing you guys a disservice if we tried to put together a remote episode 200. But don't fret, there's going to be so much content coming down the pipeline. We've already got Tracy Hackler from Panini. He's going to be on the show while we're at the National. So look for that, not only uploaded to the Mojobreak Media channel, but also as an audio version. We got Brian Gray from Leaf. He's going to be on the show. We've got Adam Martin from Dave and Adams. He's going to be on the show. And we're lining up even more guests. We've got Chris Keller from Top Shelf. We've got John Newman from Sports Card Nation. So we're going to be doing all kinds of Mojo sessions
we
out
should
there.
just open it up to everybody, though.
What?
Just come on in.
Come on in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
hey,
I'm
you got-
open to suggestions.
Hey,
you
that
know?
could be a
More
giveaway.
content.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
mics set up if you wanna hang out and do a guest appearance on the hype. Why not?
Yeah.
Yep. So
could be
I
a
mean, I don't know the script anyway, so I'll freeform it with you.
I hit up Darren Ravel. He hadn't said anything back.
Big
so,
times you.
Seeing if he wants to get down on some boxes as well. But we're gonna have a lot of fun, and content will be coming your way left and right. So be on the lookout for that, as well as everything else going down. Our goal for you guys that can't come to the National is to provide you with that experience from your seat, from your home, from your computer, from your mobile tablet, or whatever you digest your stuff on. You can buy into the breaks, and you can watch everything that we got going on at the National, and you don't even have to leave your house.
I'll say one thing, and then we can move on from the National. So there is no Panini VIP party.
Right.
But there's something better. Thursday night in Chicago, the great Limp Bizkit
Oh!
is playing.
Oh my God.
That
Are they playing
and
with anybody, or is it just?
they're
Limp
playing
Bizkit?
with a band called Spirit Box. It's going to be
Okay.
the after hours Lollapalooza at like a small club in Chicago.
Wait a minute.
Rolling.
Is Lollapalooza happening at the same time?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Foo Fighters are playing Lollapalooza.
Yeah, it's like a big deal. Lollapalooza this year. I mean, always a big deal, but
Yeah, but bigger deal. than
Yes.
Lollapalooza.
Wow.
The after party with Limp Bizkit. I think even if Panini was having a VIP party if it's a Thursday, I don't know. I don't know what I do. I haven't seen Limp Bizkit since 2014.
Hands up now, hands down.
You can keep on saying it, but like if you went to that show, you would know every single
have a
song.
good time.
I would. It would be great.
It would-
I'm considering it.
would be-
That was supposed to be Top Golf night, though, so I don't know.
At Top Golf night could be moved to Friday.
We got Top Golf here. We
Yeah,
don't
I-
have
I'm actually going
here.
Friday for my birthday anyway. But
I mean,
Get Fred Durst on the show.
we can be like, hey, Fred, you want to come to the National and hang out?
And he's all, no, I did it all for the nookie.
Oh man, he doesn't. I don't think he like talks in his song lyrics.
No, it's a whole conversation.
Exactly how he talks. Same
You're all,
way.
hey, Freddie's all, come on.
So yeah, Thursday in Chicago starts
Breaking
late,
news right now. No, just kidding.
11. Yeah, you'd think I work for the venue or something.
Right.
But-
Seriously, they give you a kickback?
Limp Bizkit's manager right here.
Ooh, my dream.
Well, we got one little more segment, and, you know, I guess we're OGs in this hobby, 10 years in, and, you know, we got to protect one of our own. Chris Justice has been made a meme on Instagram by the account, and I don't think Card Porn account was trying to do anything other than get some clicks, but there was a video. You can watch it yourself. It's of a Mike Trout, orange, number to 25, that he pulled in 2009. And he said, I think this guy's good, and he put it to the side. I want to ask you guys this. Jared Schuster. If you pull a Jared Schuster auto, are you going to be like, I think this guy's good, and then you're going to get blasted 10 years from now when Jared Schuster's good?
He's relatively still young though, right?
He's a pitcher for the Braves, drafted the same spot as where Mike Trout was.
yeah,
Right.
but like last year.
2020,
right?
season.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And you go back to the 2019 draft, Cody Hosey for the Dodgers,
Good
third
ball.
baseman.
I think he's a pretty good ball player.
So
though.
are you going to be like, I got to get super excited because he may be good
I would
in 10
actually
years?
probably say exactly what Chris Justice said.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
this guy will be
this
good.
guy might be a pretty good ball player.
Yeah. Maybe
good
he'll
enough,
be good.
enough to get drafted in the first round.
Yeah,
All I'm saying, guys, is before you blast him, for one, find out the context. The context was he pulled this card in 2009. He was literally the only one opening boxes on YouTube in 2009. I mean, we barely even had video cameras at that point.
We could be. I mean, now if he would have opened it up and hit it and been like Mike Trout, and at this point he's like scrub, then I'd be like, okay,
Yeah, of
come
course.
on, man.
But you can see the comments. My soul.
But he basically he was like, this guy might be pretty good. This guy should be pretty good. I think this guy's pretty good.
I think he's pretty good. is
I
what
think
he
he's
said.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We
That
should
is
actually be giving him credit for maybe
Yeah,
being
he
a little
called it.
more
That's
knowledgeable
true. He
than
called
we
it.
thought. Yeah.
like he knows. He's got the insight.
To put it in context, this was in 2009.
Right.
I think Trout got called up in 2011 and then also got sent down in 2011. So this was 2 years before anybody even knew. Any baseball fan, maybe baseball prospectors knew who he was, but nobody knew who Mike Trout was. So to go ahead and rip on this man for basically saying, I think he's good, you can't take something that's now in the future and say, like, oh, you should have known. You can't. It's 2009.
Right. How many videos are there of guys probably opening a Matt Bush card from that era and being like, oh, my God, this is
Yeah.
huge. Like, no one cares now. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. There's so many more failures than there is Mike Trout situations. I mean, how many times do we boom up a Michael Carter Williams rookie card from 2013, right? There's Dice K 2007. We weren't breaking then, but that was what everybody wanted.
Hey, the
think-
just
I
recently
think-
retired Dice K.
Yeah.
I think we may have boomed up some. Who was the Anthony Bennett?
Yeah, Anthony Bennett,
Yeah.
first overall pick.
They're booming him up.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
that's a
just
good
like
question,
you're all,
Lee.
shit came up. He did it.
Geno Smith, EJ Manuel.
Player that you had a huge boom reaction to that was the least deserving in retrospect.
Oh,
Anthony Bennett might be
Anthony
the guy.
Bennett.
Yeah, I don't think we ever really played up Anthony Bennett as much as like
First
I mean,
overall,
even at the
first
time,
overall
he
pick,
was a-
though.
he was.
probably Johnny Manziel. We had in
Ooh,
in
yeah.
14
Yeah.
we were really like boing for Johnny Manziel.
Actually, Johnny Football, and then now you could probably I mean, they're still in the league, but Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
Like that was like huge,
Yeah.
huge hits.
Yes, big time. Big time.
And those guys, like at least like the first year or two, it felt like you couldn't lose with them. Like
Right.
they
Yeah.
were just on the path.
Yeah, so it's not fair to hate the OG who paved the path for most of us here by actually throwing up YouTube videos of personal boxes to go backwards and say, oh, he's dumb, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but he's also. It's getting clicks though. He's getting people to check him out, check out the name. I mean, I don't think it's like.
I will say that the recent
it's bad.
comments, the most recent comments were all people saying, hey, respect to an OG. Let's
Yeah.
give some love to this guy. This was 2009. No
It's a
one
huge,
knew.
it's a huge card. What, $800,000 card, $900,000 card?
Huge card now.
Yeah, huge.
Is that a
But-
milli? Is it a
but,
milli?
But probably
Close.
$100 back then, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about? You got a story.
Yeah.
You can talk about.
I was hoping you didn't bring that up. It's painful.
Doug
Very painful.
Doug pulled a Bowman Sterling Mike Trout,
Yeah.
and he's like, I think this guy's pretty good, and he sold it on eBay for like $25.
$25, yeah. Oof. Yeah. I think it's like a $7,000 or $8,000 card now.
So yeah, what do you? You should have just quit. You obviously don't. You can't. You can't see talent.
I know.
You don't know.
I mean, luckily that wasn't recorded, or else people would be calling me the dumbest guy alive. You just dumbest collector ever.
I'll give you 5 of these Trout Bowman Sterlings for 1 Anthony Bennett, please.
Yes. Am I taking that deal?
Actually,
you might have been able to convince me. Well, no, I think Trout was already doing good.
I'm
I was like Gary Brown.
Oh.
I would have traded
There
for
you go.
Gary Brown. I liked Gary Brown.
No, I think you would have.
I would have.
I think if somebody was like, I have a Gary Brown.
Yep.
I will trade you straight across for that Mike Trout, and you would have been like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, maybe an Angel Villalona, if he had a first
Boy.
Bowman floating out there.
No, he had a contenders, I think.
Was it a Contenders?
Yeah, they didn't get him on Bowman yet for some reason.
I thought but he had base card, maybe no autos. I remember him having.
Yeah, he might have had a base card. But yeah, I mean, it just goes back to that, and that's the fun of baseball and card collecting in general is that, this guy, Mike Trout, obviously, nobody knew he was in 2009, and then 2011, people started hearing about his name, and now he is the face of baseball cards.
That's why draft when it comes out, it's so hyped.
Yeah.
Because everybody
never
in
know.
there, every auto subject
Yep.
could be the next Mike
And
Trout.
you don't feel as bad if you get like a box that's all base, and you're like, well, I got a shot. You got a shot. You got maybe 4 years from now, you got your shot. I mean, even look at what's his name, Aquino a couple years ago. Now, I mean, no, he hasn't done anything now, but remember when he hit 13 home runs or 14 home runs in that month, and he was literally $1 Bowman, and he went to like $300.
Well, how about Pete Alonso?
Yeah,
Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso was under the radar. He wasn't.
So was Judge.
How about Cody Bellinger?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. At the very least, you're
We
guaranteed
can do this all day.
a solid first Bowman of someone who's probably going to be an all-star caliber player. Down the road.
Yeah, and I don't think Soto. I mean, because Tatis and obviously Guerrero were very highly
were hyped.
touted. But
Soto
I don't
was
think
not.
Soto was.
Soto
at
was
the
not
time.
hyped. No. I mean, the entire way coming up, he wasn't hyped until he finally made it to the majors, and he's 19 years old.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, we got to give him some respect to the OG here. And, delete your comment if you said something bad. Because he didn't know. He just doesn't have a crystal
Delete
ball.
your account. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Doug here to tell you about what we got going on Mojobreak.com. If you're not at the National, you can participate in our biggest giveaway of the year. We're giving away $20,000 worth of stuff, and it's for those week's breaks starting Monday, July 26th, and ending that Sunday. As long as you're in any of those breaks that are posted on Mojobreak.com, you'll be entered in to win. And the more spots you have, the more chances you have to win. And you could technically win all the prizes if you get super lucky. Grand prize, we're giving away a $5,000 gift card to shop on the site. You can have your own personal breaking shopping spree. So that's a grand prize. Second prize is entry into our 10-case baseball. It's a $3,500 spot. 3 cases of Transcendent, Dynasty, Definitive, Insanity. That break's happening August 13th, Friday. So somebody's going to win a spot in that. We're giving away Giannis jersey, the MVP, signed Giannis jersey, signed Russell Wilson jersey. We got select boxes. We got breaker packs. All kinds of things to participate in, and we'll send you guys all those bonus packs that are coming along with the breaks. There's already breaks posted right now. They're selling soon, selling fast, but we're giving out Father's Day packs in most of our breaks. We also have breaker packs, so look out for those. We're doing like giveaway cards in each break. Like there's a break that just sold out that we're giving away a Yogi Berra Whitey Ford dual auto. We'll be doing more stuff like that. So it's a great way to participate and break with bonuses. So go to Mojobreak.com, get in any of these breaks from July 26th to August 2nd. They will qualify you for the big giveaway. Peace.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Doug is out. Conrad is with us, and so we got to be talking some hoops. Tagging in, tag teaming it right now. Conrad, what's going on, man?
What's up, everybody?
So, of course, we got to talk some hoops. We got to talk the NBA Finals, which wrapped up last night as we're recording this. The Milwaukee Bucks, their first NBA title in 50 years, on the back of what is, I'm going to say it, I think right now, as I was kind of like digesting it after the game, and I kept thinking, has there been a better finals performance in the last 20 years? Has there been a better finals performance in the last 30 years? Has there ever been a better finals performance than what we saw from Giannis, considering that, like, his knee was gone, or it seemed like it. Everyone was just like, he's out for the year. He's out for the playoffs. He was doubtful for game 1, and then he goes off and has that kind of performance. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hyperbolic here, but for my money, that might have been the best individual performance from an NBA player in the finals.
I think apparently the way that you win a championship now is that you got to make sure your star player has some type of damaged ligament in their knee. Because Tom Brady, torn MCL.
That's right.
Wins a Super Bowl. Giannis, I don't know if anything's torn. It probably is. You actually look at what happened to Giannis. It was very similar to what happened to Clay.
Yeah.
And we know Clay definitely tore something. So,
Yep.
But overall, good. Congratulations to the Bucks. Congratulations to Giannis. But that was a heck of a finals.
Yeah.
Like, the NBA, the high ups probably looked at that and went like, this is not what we really wanted as a matchup. Where's LA?
Yeah.
Where's Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Where's KD? Where's LeBron?
I think from the NBA perspective, obviously having 3 stars like Kyrie, Harden, and KD would have been nice. To say KD, Kyrie, and Harden, that would have been nice to have them fight. I think from the East, from their perspective, the East, I don't think they care as much. But I feel like from the West, they're so used to certain teams coming out there, especially might have LA in front of their names. So just back real quick to what Cody was saying in terms of the finals performances, I think it's definitely up there. It's one of those all-time performances, and then for him to cap it with that 50-pointer and on the last one,
crazy.
It was definitely a special performance. Yeah, congrats to Milwaukee. We as Warriors fans know what that feels like to not have one forever, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we know how special it is for Milwaukee fans to be able to celebrate.
I think it really comes down to how great of a minority owner Aaron Rodgers is. I think he basically was the one who really put in the work to make sure that they were able to build the type of team.
Aaron Rodgers is a champion again, now in the NBA. So.
Oh yeah.
By
Shout
the way,
out to Aaron Rodgers.
The fact that kind of an aside, like the fact that
That's why I
Aaron
bought those
Rodgers
exquisites.
news, the Aaron Rodgers news came out that morning that like the Packers offered him all the money in the world and he still said no. It's like Milwaukee's like, no, you're not letting this bad vibes get into the Milwaukee Bucks locker room. Like there's too many good vibes. I just thought it was interesting timing with that Aaron Rodgers news.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about how Giannis now ranks for basketball collectors.
Yeah.
I think he did take a bit of a dip as the Bucks, especially in that Brooklyn series where it really looked like the Bucks were so overmatched.
Right.
Before there were some injuries, admittedly for the Brooklyn Nets, but hey, that's what happens for teams on a championship run. Everything has to come together, including injuries. We've seen it before for even the greatest teams. Like that first Warriors run, there was injuries on the way to that, and you can say all that, but the fact is then they put it together, for 4 more finals runs after that. That was really the first stepping stone to kind of solidify them as like that, give them that confidence that they are a championship caliber team. So I think that the Bucks are maybe in that same are following that same formula right now. But where does Giannis now rank in the hobby? Is he number 2 to LeBron James at this point? Are you still putting Steph Curry ahead of him? And do you think that we're going to see a huge reaction? I already saw like after the finals, as I was posting some stuff on the Mojobreak Media Twitter, saw like at least 3 or 4 postings within 5 minutes of the final buzzer of saying, "Hey man, congrats to the Bucks. Here's my Giannis card, $20K shipping. DM me if you want some info." Like I saw like 5 guys already posting that. It's we are. It's gonna be a hot summer for Giannis collectors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to start first?
Yeah, I mean, I think the King will always be number 1, at least in modern era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph's still got to be. I think Steph's still up there. I'm not, and
We're a little biased here.
I have the Homer hat on.
Yeah, me too.
But like, I think Steph is still number 2, and I think like Luka and Giannis are right up there. I mean,
Tied for third.
Tied for third. Luka. I mean, Giannis may be above Luka right now, just based on if you look at Prism and the amount of Prism that was produced in 13-14 as opposed to 18-19.
Yep.
I personally would value Giannis higher than Luka, based on just
Numbers.
pop report, right?
Yeah.
But I still got to go. Curry's got the silver.
Silver. Okay, so I'm in agreement with Dan here. LeBron's gonna be number 1 for modern. Steph Curry is he's got to be still above Giannis, but I will say this, I think Giannis is clearly above Luka right now from the numbers aspect that like Dan was just talking about, but also from the real life numbers that now that he actually has a championship.
Yeah.
At the age of 26, right? He's an NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, 2-time regular league MVP, and he was a defensive player of the year as well. So in terms of stats, at 26 years old, they're like now, like the people that were buying him early, and it was still expensive early too. Like he was never a cheap guy once the hype built up, right? Even starting from 2015, 2016, he was always one of the most expensive guys, if not the most expensive guy, besides like maybe like a LeBron, right? So after Curry won his first championships, we saw Curry cards bump up, obviously. It was when Curry won the second championship when his cards exploded, especially when he won the second MVP, and then they went to the finals again. So no, sorry, not the second championship. His cards exploded. The second MVP, his cards exploded, because at that point people were like, okay, we maybe the first year that people weren't really sure how good Curry was, but when he won the second one with that record breaking season with the Warriors, his cards exploded. So I think Giannis, if he makes another run, which I firmly believe they're going to make multiple runs at this point, even with we were talking about yesterday in the group chat, with even Brooklyn healthy, now the Bucks have massive confidence that they can get it done with the team that they have. And you think about a guy like Giannis who's only 26 years old, and now he has that confidence. That's a scary, scary NBA player, and he's just going to keep getting better. He's entering his prime, which is scary to say after all that he's already accomplished. So he makes another MVP run, league MVP run, especially if he wins another finals or wins another finals MVP, then I think at that point you can make an argument for Giannis being number 2. But right now Curry's going to be number 2 still.
The one thing I think we can put to bed now is the talk every offseason of what Giannis wants out of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
What teams is he going to go to? He's going to go to the Lakers, he's going to go to the Warriors, gonna create a super team somewhere. Yeah. We could pretty much stop talking about that.
Yep.
I'm not saying he'll be a career Milwaukee Buck, but he will be
for a long
on the Milwaukee
time.
Bucks for the next 5-6 years. Because honestly, like the last 3 years, now we're talking Dame Lillard. Now Dame Lillard, like, because he hasn't won a championship, it's like, okay, when is Dame Lillard gonna leave and go to a super team and try to win a championship? That conversation with Giannis is gone.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
We're done talking about
and
that.
Suddenly Milwaukee is a destination.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that I keep mentioning the Warriors as an example to compare them to, but like that the Warriors were never a destination.
Never.
And I know that, the Bay Area is a more enticing place just, for the real estate wise
and
than
tech-wise.
Milwaukee. Yeah. But still, this was a place that nobody ever went to. And then the Warriors won, and suddenly Kevin Durant is a Golden State Warrior. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that. I think you're going to see the same thing happen in Milwaukee, where now he's going to be like, you want to come win? Like, so you mentioned Dame Lillard. Like, suddenly, like, the idea of, like, Dame Lillard be like, yeah, I want to go to Milwaukee. I want to play with Giannis.
Yeah.
Which didn't seem like a thought that was even in the same stratosphere, is now something that you could argue, or at least a player of his caliber. When it comes to like how they rank right now for collectors, I think Curry is still the second guy, but I actually think that there's going to be a lot of people who bump Giannis up to that second spot because it's more exciting. What has not happened, the potential of what could happen is, I think, a lot more exciting for people than what has already happened. Steph has already won 3 titles, and I think that, if I'm going to be pessimistic, there are a lot of people who probably look at it as like, that's it. Those are the only 3 he's ever going to win. It was an incredible run. They went to 5 straight championships. He won 2 MVPs, but that's it. That is the best run of Steph Curry's career. Whereas Giannis, now it's like he's had all of these individual accolades already. He's got his first title now. Like, the prelude to him was winning back-to-back MVPs and then a championship. And he's just 26. I think LeBron was 26 when he won his first one. Michael Jordan, I think, was like 27 when he won his first one. So he's on that same sort of path where he could win a lot of these for a long time coming. I think that there is a really good chance that Giannis slides into that number 2 spot behind LeBron James, just because it's exciting to think about what could be for him, and the possibilities are endless right now.
I get that, and Giannis had an amazing finals, but let's not take away the fact, and this is very similar to the Warriors championship run.
Yeah.
The role players that were coming off the
that they
bench,
had.
the depth that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Warriors when they had Livingston and
We were so
Iguodala
deep.
coming off the bench.
That team was so deep.
I mean, even guys like Quinn Cook stepping up and it was like just nonstop, just depth. It was like
barrage.
it's like no matter who would come in, they would perform. They played into the system. But you had guys like Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis was coming in and he was doing what he had to do. Pat Connaughton shooting lights out. I think he actually led the finals in 3-point percentage and maybe made.
Wow.
I mean, he was absolutely lights out, and up and down that roster, Lopez coming in, doing what he has to do. I mean, it seemed like every time it wasn't just Giannis. Middleton, I think, kind of solidified being
Go-to guy in the clutch time.
I mean, not say a superstar, but got to be considered a top 15 talent in the league right
just
now,
under
right?
that, yeah.
For sure, dude.
And this finals run kind of showcased that.
Oh, man.
So Giannis, great, amazing finals, but don't take away the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks as a team that had just more depth than the Suns.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what both of you guys said, one with Milwaukee now being a destination place, like it goes deeper than just another superstar wanting to come play there. When we were making our run with Warriors, right? Because people, not only superstars want to go play there, but role players want to come play there now. So now they can switch parts in and out. Like PJ Tucker, he was an incredible role player for them this year and vital for their run this year. Like once he gets, he is on the older side of things. They can now bring in more role players that will take less money.
Yeah.
And because they know that they can win a championship with Milwaukee there.
David West, JaVale McGee's, those types of guys.
So that adds another layer to it adds another thing to the fact that they're going to make multiple runs at this, right? For many years to come. And then you're right. Giannis, he was a superstar. He was the anchor. He's the guy that you want as the main number one, right? And then everybody else did, play their part to help them win this championship. So, yeah, it's going to be, if you're a Milwaukee fan, it's going to be a good few years for you guys, man.
Can I just throw out an absolutely insane possibility right now?
Yes.
With Milwaukee winning this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of discontent right now in Dallas with Luka and the Mavericks. Could we form the all Euro super team in Milwaukee? Giannis and Luka on the same team? That might be too much.
I think Mark Cuban at all costs is going to try to keep Luka.
Yeah. Well, I think he's under contract, so who would he want? He'd want Giannis.
Yeah, of course. Giannis for Luka.
So basically, would defeat the purpose because you would basically go, okay, cool. Luka, now you play in Milwaukee, and Giannis, you play in Dallas.
All right, so maybe it won't happen.
Never say never. Not in the near future, but I can see because people have been talking about that before, where like a Giannis and Luka team obviously would be incredible. But I think what's happening is that Luka saw what Giannis did, and he's like, I want to do that too. I want to be the guy to lead a team with the franchise that drafted me.
He's like, I need my Chris Middleton.
Yeah, he does need his Chris Middleton first.
Yeah, to see like a super team not come out on top, where like the Bucks get past the Nets, again, a beat up Nets team, but nonetheless they get past the Nets. And yeah, maybe this now ushers in a new era where we stray away from the super team and young guys want to follow in the footsteps where maybe Trae Young, Luka, these guys are like, I want to do this on my own. Yeah, Lillard, even if he doesn't do it in Portland, if he goes and does it somewhere else, like that they want to build something on their own and prove that they can do it on their own. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sold going into the playoffs. I was like, Bucks are good, but they're not there. They don't. Yeah. Giannis is amazing, probably the best player in the league, most dominant player in the league at least, and he doesn't have a supporting cast that's going to get him to the next level. I was 100% wrong.
Yeah.
That team showed up, and they definitely, obviously, had the tools to get them to the next level.
Well, I mean, to your credit, I mean, the last 2 years, I was on the Milwaukee train, right? The last 2 years, and I was disappointed both times. I thought they would come out of the East last year and the year before, and they got bounced out both years. The difference was the fact that they picked up Drew Holiday, they picked up PJ Tucker. You know what I mean, guys? The guys like Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, all these guys started to step up, and another year, another more experience for them, and they got into a system that fits them. So, yeah. It's amazing. When they got Drew Holiday, I was like, yes, he's an upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. Yeah. I absolutely remember we were talking about that on the show. I was like, yeah, he's an upgrade, but is he gonna put them over the hump? Like, I still wasn't convinced.
I wasn't convinced. I was like, he made them a little better.
Yeah.
But not good enough. I watched Bobby Portis again, talking about him. Like, I watched him play, and I'm like, I want him to be a Warrior. Like, I like the way he plays. He basically does a little bit of everything, kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me of like a little bit of like a younger like Iguodala, where like he could just do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah. And Drew was big for them in the playoffs, and especially in the finals, man, just guarding CP3, not letting him breathe pretty much like that. CP3's play obviously regressed as the finals went on, and I think part of that was Drew Holiday's defense on him. So, yeah, you know what? I don't know if you guys know this, but I said this on the stream over the weekend. Do you guys know how Bobby Portis? Because everybody has their own like, what is it? Pre-game like a
ritual.
Ritual.
Yeah.
One of his is that he envisions that the other team slapped his mom. So that's why he plays. He's like, that's why I play mad when I play.
And it just adds to like because he looks like a madman when he's playing out there too. His eyes get all big and bug-eyed, and so it just I love that detail.
When I found that out, I was like, that makes so much sense, dude.
Man, you know what? We're talking all this Giannis. Like, I think Bobby Portis just became like he's my number 2 now. He's my favorite guy. I love him.
The one thing that was painful to watch, Giannis being a superstar, was watching him shoot free throws in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where they were doing the countdown.
Oh, yeah.
Or the count up.
Moment.
It got in his head.
Yeah, it did.
So much where I'm like, superstars don't let stuff like that bother them. And he did. And I was like, that like Steph wouldn't let that bother him.
But when it mattered most, and I know he's at home, but he missed one free throw in the clinching game?
But, it was very, very, when he was on the road,
much friendlier.
It was tough to watch.
The moment I knew the Phoenix Suns were going to lose is when that guy got on camera counting him down, showing off his $100 bills. Nuh-uh. This team deserves to
Karma.
lose. Sorry to Phoenix fans. You are plenty of nice Phoenix fans. I know a few. But, that was karma right there. You can't be doing that. Going to be very interesting. How many incredible Giannis cards are you going to see at the National now, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like people probably were maybe packing up those last few things and thought, well, I got to break out the Giannis cards.
And you know what's crazy to think? After all these years of crazy prices of Giannis, and obviously his prices have dipped from the last year
Yeah.
because of them not winning or getting out of the East last year again after several years, right? What's crazy to think is that there's still room for these cards to grow, man.
Insane.
That's the craziest part. And we're at his cards at a level where they're already unreachable for most folks, right? But if you do have one, your mind's got to be like, okay, they got that. Giannis got that first one out the way. There's gonna be more to come.
So you are not selling Giannis right
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say buying or are we buying, holding, or well, not buying? Are we selling or holding Giannis at this point? Yeah.
If you have the means, I'm buying.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with that. Because they're so high, but I get.
But they're so they
I
did
get.
drop from
I
last
get.
year.
what-
Yeah,
I get.
the-
I, they
yeah.
did. They dipped. I know
The
we-
ceiling is incredible for him.
But yeah, you're right. Like he goes on a run, wins 3 in a row. Even though you paid like who knows how much, you probably are going to be able to double your money.
I mean,
Yeah.
he literally just had an unprecedented stat line in the NBA Finals. He's
Yeah.
done something. I think I saw that. He's like the first. I can't remember the awards exactly, but that he and Michael Jordan are the only two players to
Yeah,
have
it was like
Him, Mike Jordan.
it was like
Hakeem.
MVP Finals, Defensive
Yeah.
Player of the Year,
And regular season
regular
MVP.
season finals
MVP.
yeah.
and NBA champion.
And I want to say that the only one to have 2 MVPs by this point was him and MJ, which is just like insane. So the ceiling is just absolutely to the moon right now.
I know
with
this
Giannis.
is hype to say it, but we're on the hype. That's the name of our podcast.
Apropos.
Okay, if he wins 3 in a row, just hypothetically speaking, and then maybe not win 4 in a row, but then take a couple of years break and then he'll win some more. If he gets to like,
I think
if he gets five, six-
I think I know where you're going with this, and I don't know he can ever overthrow.
he's gonna overthrow
Jordan.
LeBron James.
No, well, number one, Jordan.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Jordan.
Yeah.
He-
I'm not talking about Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan's like a
'Cause he-
cultural icon that just
He
cannot
can't.
be
He
touched.
can't overthrow Jordan. Yeah, he could probably win 8 or 9 championships, and it's still Jordan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll.
I was
ever-
gonna say LeBron.
I don't think he'll
Jordan.
ever get to LeBron stat. LeBron, man, like
Because he's an ambassador for the
LeBron
sport,
in
too.
like high school was like hyped to be the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
And he comes into the NBA and he did not disappoint.
Yeah.
He looked like he was the greatest player ever to play.
But
And he got better. He got better as like he just figured things out. Things he was not great at, he became great at. You can sit there and talk about the free throw percentage, but he's improved. He still is improving.
Yeah.
Um,
So is Giannis.
I think LeBron wins another title.
possible.
LeBron may win 2 more titles.
yeah,
Possibly.
with a fully rested Lakers squad, like that Lakers squad is a lot better than they played last.
Like
this
LeBron
year,
got
for
a
sure.
year older, but did you see much of a drop off?
Not that
I mean, LeBron is probably going to be 40 years old if he's still playing in the NBA. He's still going to be one of the best players out there day in and day in and day out.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. LeBron's legacy is pretty much cemented, and it is going to be tough for Giannis. I'm just saying there's a possibility there. And, like, just speaking on this year specifically, not anything that happened before this year, but we started to finally see with the older age LeBron now that he's not able to just carry any
No.
type of team by himself.
No.
He would have been able to do that like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
any type of team. Like, it don't even matter who else is on the team.
that's
really.
true. But there's also there's not a lot of players out there that can carry a team by themselves. I don't like Giannis can't carry a team by himself. He needs players. He needs. I mean,
he almost carried
He
the
got-
team
he
by
got-
himself
he got
these
half
last
their
few
points.
games.
yeah. I mean, the one game, but like,
I think
Without-
he's in the 40 most of the games.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Curry. We've seen Curry carry his team.
Oh yeah.
We've seen. Actually, I mean, now we're really gonna get home. We've seen Klay Thompson carry his team. But completely different players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to overthrow LeBron. I don't think anybody ever overthrows LeBron modern day. You can have the argument until you're blue in the face about Jordan, LeBron.
Yeah.
Um,
That's going to be a never-ending
I
argument.
don't think you
to
can.
the end
I
of
don't think
time.
you can actually say one way or the other because they played in just two different eras that you can't compare.
Yeah.
I mean, what type of player would Jordan be in LeBron's era?
Yeah.
Or what type of player would LeBron be in Jordan's era?
I think the politically correct answer is always just to say Michael Jordan.
No, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and I don't, and that's why I get emails and people say they want to punch me in the face. It's cool.
I think that the best thing that Giannis has going for him, and why I think he actually does, if he does start racking up some titles here, has a chance to jump over LeBron, is that you mentioned, like, we've known LeBron's story forever. We've known LeBron since he was 16. He's been a household name. But, like, Giannis's backstory from, I mean, literally like a rags to riches backstory. If you know his story, where he's like literally selling stuff on the street as like an 8-year-old in Greece to help his family out, and then he's now never a highly touted prospect like these other guys, like Jordan, like LeBron, and now he is in the same breath as those guys. I think that underdog story quality to him, I think, makes him way more relatable, and I think a more fascinating story than these other guys.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
Yeah,
an
it's
a great
incredible
story.
story. It's the kind of thing, like, there's eventually going to be a Giannis movie down the road.
Yeah,
about his
I mean,
story, you know?
I mean, Giannis is definitely way better than Siakam, but Siakam kind of similar. Like, Giannis had the attributes and like just athlete. He's an athlete, like, but he didn't have like the basketball pedigree
super raw
that you like look at and go, okay, like this guy plays at 18 years old like he's been playing like he's a 15-year vet.
I love
Luka.
Luka.
And I think that's kind of what LeBron was at like 16 years old. He like didn't play like a 16-year-old. He didn't have the court vision as like a 16-year-old. Giannis has had to kind of learn the game. Siakam has like truly had to learn the game. I think he was playing basketball for 4 or 5 years, and then he was like on the Raptors, like winning a championship. Like he wasn't even playing basketball that long. So I agree. It's a great story. Giannis is marketable, but he's not LeBron James marketable. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna have a movie quite yet,
Yeah.
but it's a maybe. It's a maybe. I don't know. Space Jam 3.
I'm not talking Space Jam. I'm
Space
talking
Jam 3, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Giannis.
like what they're doing with Kurt Warner, I could see that for Giannis.
Or
getting
like
that
more
sort
than a
of
game,
treatment.
like that type of documentary.
Yeah, right. I could see that happening. Yeah, Giannis in Space Jam 3. Yeah, I don't know about that. Do we need a Space Jam 3 after Space Jam 2? That's another story.
Yeah, I watched it with my kids the other day or yesterday.
Yeah, watch it over the weekend.
I
It is
I haven't seen it yet.
it is it's a kids movie.
It's a movie.
Well, the funny thing, I mean,
It was 2 hours.
the 2 hours, huh?
Yeah, a little too long.
It
The
was a
first one's
little
like,
long. It was a little long.
and the first one's like
first one's
80
60
minutes. Yeah,
or
it's
80
you're,
minutes,
you're
yeah.
in and out real fast, just like it should be. Little longer the tooth, this one.
You know, I actually don't even know if I've seen Space Jam 1 all the way through. Wasn't R. Kelly wasn't that his
I
jam? I
Believe
believe
I
I
Can
Can
Fly.
Fly.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's such a beautiful song.
That's
Such a good
that
song.
like is like the only thing that I really remember from that.
yeah, the soundtrack was something that really sticks out
the
for people.
soundtrack I think was huge. right?
Soundtrack better than the movie, and I loved the movie
Okay.
as a kid. But the soundtrack is legendary.
Yeah.
Soundtrack for this one's actually pretty good.
Yep.
I listened
Dame
to it a
Lillard's
few
on
times.
there.
Pretty good. Yeah, that's right. Dame Lillard, and it's like a bunch of Bay Area rappers in one track.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, actually. So,
Well, I like how you guys set the bar pretty low. I actually might be pleasantly surprised then. I'm not going to go in with high expectations.
it's
Good.
I'm glad you guys weren't like, it's the greatest movie I've ever seen. So then I'm going to watch it and be like, I thought it'd be better.
It's a bad movie that I enjoyed watching.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
It's
I had a fun time.
okay movie that was okay.
I know this is a more damning review than mine.
Sorry, LeBron, but
Yeah.
that director's right. The first one was better.
LeBron getting a little acting. I mean, he's got some movies underneath his belt. He was in Trainwreck.
Trainwreck, which he was actually pretty
He-
good
I
in.
actually thought he was really good.
Yeah.
and
He's
it's
a-
He's not as good in this one.
it's like Bill Bill Hader, I think, was in that.
Yeah,
and
Amy Schumer, Bill Hader. It's a pretty good movie, actually. I like that movie. Yeah, there's some line reads in this where I'm like, you couldn't have done, like, that's the best take you got? All right, cool.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he tried. My
tried.
man tried. You know what
Tried
I'm
his
saying? That's all you can ask for an athlete. He tried. You know.
Yeah. He
What
tried.
did he act? Okay, since you guys was he acting better than Jordan?
See, and I thought, like, it was going to be a slam dunk, no pun intended, that, like, LeBron was going to be a lot better than Jordan.
Yeah,
Because he
I can't
he
say that.
kind of has the acting chops,
But,
right?
but you know what? I would say it's pretty much even.
It's even.
If not, Jordan
It's
might
even.
have been a little better.
Okay.
It's even. I think it's even.
Yeah.
You know what? I have to rewatch the first one, but from what I remember, I think the acting might be. You know, as a kid, it was very believable to me, like Jordan talking to Looney Tunes and, you know, like that whole storyline. And I was like, oh, I love this. Yeah, I believe every word Jordan's saying on this movie. But as an adult watching the second one with my kids and watching LeBron, like, I don't believe half the stuff you're saying on the screen right now.
So the consensus is that it probably didn't have to happen. It wasn't. It wasn't. It didn't.
So it's so unnecessary.
No.
Yeah.
And it really does. Like I was reading reviews about it, like, and I tend to agree that it feels almost kind of like just a big branding movie.
Yeah.
Like they're just throwing brand after brand in your face, slapping you with it. Like,
Yeah.
Sweet.
It was a
Gatorade.
2-hour HBO Max commercial. That's what it was. That's exactly what
Little
it
product
was.
placement. I like it.
I didn't want to believe it when I was reading it, but after watching it, I was like, yeah, they kind of slap
Yeah.
you in the face with all these brands.
Oh yeah. It's all over the place.
But I gotta admit, I still want the Space Jam LeBrons from the movie.
100%.
I still want that Toon Squad jersey. I still want all of that.
I can't wait to rip open the cards if we get the
Oh yeah, the Space Jam cards. I can't
coming
wait
out in August, I
to
believe.
check that
Upper
out.
deck.
That's right. Yeah, if that I am actually excited for that stuff. So,
But
it's-
back to Giannis though, and Milwaukee Bucks. Congrats.
All right.
Enjoy the run. What the Warriors, it's a very similar run to ours, where we, like I said, we didn't win for a long time, so it felt awesome. As just being a Bay Area fan, I never thought I would see a basketball championship in my lifetime. Just growing up.
Yeah.
So I feel it. I'm happy for all you Milwaukee fans.
So, I know this isn't the Warriors round table or whatever, but do you think, since the draft is coming up, Warriors have two first-round picks,
They're moving it.
do you think they package those picks up for somebody? I know, like, the obvious is, like, Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
I actually don't think Dame Lillard is
I don't think it's a
going
fit.
to be the guy, but
Yeah.
I actually think they're going to package up both those picks for
Yeah.
somebody. Don't know who that somebody's going to be, but
If you
or do you think they package Wiseman with one of the picks?
I don't think Wiseman goes.
You don't think Wiseman
I
goes?
think there.
Interesting.
You think Kerr watched enough Suns game where he's like, I think Wiseman could be 8?
Yeah, I think that if you asked me like a month ago, I'd be like, well, it's not even. It's a slam dunk. Wiseman's gone. Wiseman's gone with those two picks. But the more they talk, the more I believe they really want to develop Wiseman, and that you bring in Clay next year with Curry, and obviously a full year of a healthy Wiseman with Curry and Draymond and Clay there. I think that's really what they're buying into, is that he's going to grow around those guys and that he can become a special player. Big men take longer to develop than like a guy like LaMelo, a guy like
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards. They take longer to develop.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be patient with it. Hell, look at Milwaukee with Giannis. I'm not saying he's going to be Giannis, but that it took a while for Giannis to become the player he could become. It took about 3-4 years for him to be that MVP caliber guy.
I love the idea of Dame, but
It's so enticing.
If you have like Curry,
It's a great insurance
Thompson,
policy.
and Dame on the court at the same time, like I would just prefer to get somebody who's not a guard. I know Clay. Clay is like a big guard.
You
But
could probably play the 3.
yeah, but that's not Clay though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you would be asking him to do a lot coming off injury to play the 3 when you have all those guys slashing all the time.
Yeah, I want Clay taking it real easy,
Catch and shoot.
catch
type.
and shoot,
Yeah.
like keep everybody away from him. Don't be diving into his legs.
Yeah.
Like I want to put a bubble around him.
Yeah, I
just
get it.
protect him. And I think if we ask him to like start playing a different position that he's normally playing and like banging inside,
Yeah.
it's not his game. So I don't know, man. I think they're gonna get somebody. I'm excited. I just don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, if you really just look around the league and the assets and like what people have, like the Warriors in prime position to make some type of move, like out of majority of the teams, that we can offer a lot, right? With the 17th and 14th pick, and then we have Wiggins' contract if we need to move Wiggins.
Now Zion, on the other hand,
That's
Ooh.
where if you got to give up Wiseman, Wiggins, and a couple picks, I wouldn't even.
I mean,
frankly,
and this is a dream scenario. But if
that's a super dream.
but if you like, and that's somebody who I've been critical of Zion because I don't know how long his career will be performing at the level that he needs to perform at to be a superstar. But the Warriors window is also closing. Curry, Thompson, they got to be considered on the back nine of their career at this point.
Yeah, we have to win.
So
soon.
you bring in a Zion for 3 years, 4 years, and you get the best that he's going to have probably. Man, that's scary. And that is somebody you can plug right in. I would have no problem. Wiseman, Wiggins, and the 2 first picks, and maybe a pick next year for 3 prime years of Zion. And
wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind it
Just-
one bit.
Let me make that deal right now.
How do you
Let
feel
me
about
just
some of the smaller rumors? Like if we don't get a Dame, if we get somebody like a Colin Sexton.
That's
That's-
probably the
that's
more
floating
likely
out there.
scenario. Honestly, that's what I'm prepared for mentally.
Colin Sexton or McCollum or something like that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
exactly. I'm more mentally prepared for that
Not
than the big splash at this
only
point.
give up who we get, like Wiggins? Sign and trade Oubre? Like, what do you got to do?
It
to
had to
get
be with
that?
the picks
basically.
too, probably.
Oh,
Basically,
oh no. No.
I mean,
actually, I would be more into like a John Collins from Atlanta.
he wanted to leave before they made their run. Now he's probably gonna want to stay.
But I think he would fit in better with the Warriors. Where? I mean, McCollum. He can't do
Just-
it with Dame. Like, I don't want him.
it's easy to get into like video game trade mode. So
Oh, yeah.
I always try to temper the expectations so that if the big thing happens, we're feeling good.
It's Zion or bust, man.
I'll say this. I'm very excited for next Thursday, bro. Like something's going down.
Think so.
Something's
It's gonna
going
be
down.
A big day NBA draft coming
Just
up.
not for us, but for probably like a lot
Right.
of teams.
Maybe not the Warriors, but Warriors holding the cards big time. In fact, speaking of next week, no hype episode next week as the National is going to be happening. Guys are going to be out in Chicago or Rosemont for the National. So again, come check out the Mojobreak and Mojobreak Media booths. Hang out with us, podcasts, free breaks, all that good stuff. Check us out all week long. And instead of episode 200, me and Conrad are going to be on here talking about the NBA draft and the NBA offseason and taking a look at it, of course, from the hobby perspective. Going to be a lot of interesting headlines going into the NBA offseason. So the National, NBA talk next week. A lot of good stuff coming your way. That's going to do it for episode 199 of The Hype. Of course, make sure to go to
199.
Mojobreak.com. Can you believe it? We're one away from episode 200 in 2 weeks. Mojobreak.com for all your live breaks. Mojobreakshop.com for your ship or your seals. I don't know how to say it. You can get cards on Mojobreakshop.com as well.
Well,
Get
last
them
time
shipped
for the
sealed.
100 show, we did put Dom P, right? So what are we gonna be popping this time?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
What's the what's
Let's pick up
What's
some
all the
business.
rappers drinking nowadays?
yeah?
It's not Dom P anymore. I'll tell you
Nah,
that much.
it's not
I think
that anymore.
that brand is canceled.
Fortunately, they're not drinking anything anymore. They're taking
What's
some,
the,
some types of stuff that we would not be in the right mind frame to be doing an episode.
What's the super
show.
high end? Like I think it's champagne, but it like gold bottle
Ace
has
of
like
Spades.
Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
Is
Maybe
that
we should do that.
is that it?
Ace
There
of
you go.
Spades.
I'm not gonna
Episode 200.
I'm not gonna commit to that because it
We
could
could
be
split
like
it.
$20,000 a bottle.
All right,
How
well,
much
I don't
is
think
it?
it's that expensive. I don't think it's that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to
All
figure
right.
it out.
Sweet.
If anyone wants to make a friendly donation of that to us, ship it over. Our address is on the website,
Somebody
so you
that I
can ship it to
hit
us.
big cards for recently.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you in advance. For Conrad, for Dan, for Doug, I'm Cody. We will see you in 2 weeks for episode 200
One of Christmas.
of The Hype. We'll see you at the National, too, as well.